Hey everybody, it is Christy Malone and I am here with Dr. Christine DeVilliers. Friends and family and soul family calls her Chris. She's my soul sister and the creator of the 14-day GoodTract Cleanse, full body detox purifying goodness that we all love so much. So I've asked her to join me today for some more Q&A because we always have really great questions for this protocol. So thank you for joining us today. You know, many people are doing this cleanse as their initial soul regimen. This is how we learn about soul oftentimes. And then other people, or at least after that, a lot of times people get their own soul regimen and we end up doing this seasonally, just as this great seasonal cleanse. So my question is for those of us that already have a soul routine, a soul regimen that we do every day, how does that fit into taking this cleanse, 14-day cleanse? And if we're able to keep up with our regimen, what's the best time to take it around the drink and the capsules for the detox?
Okay, so one of the things I did clarify when I gave the presentation back in Las Vegas several years ago was I did put a quotation to make sure to wait to take 2 hours away from taking medication. But one of the things, you know, your prescription drugs, you always want to do that first or check with your physician because we're not medical doctors, you know, but herbs are safe. I believe in them. That's my, you know, take on it. And in the mornings when we're taking our supplements, we want to kind of spread that apart also. Maybe waiting at least half an hour to an hour and then taking our supplements, eating breakfast. You don't have, a half an hour is a good point to, you know, wait and do it because you want to have the benefits of your herbs. If you are taking Soul Mega, that's when I tell people take it for 10 o'clock in the morning, take it at lunch, take it at after you, if you're a school teacher, take it after you get off of school, you know, that 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. You don't want to take it with fiber. You don't want fiber to just be binding your good oils because you want your good oils coming in to the cells and, you know, lubricating those cells and lubricating the joints. So you do want to know that, you know, with fiber, you're going to have some absorption. And especially when we're going to want to open up so that it can drain those different toxins, because whatever doesn't drain or if waste byproducts sits in that large intestines. Some people, I'm working with a girl right now and she wasn't going to the bathroom but once a week or when she'd start her cycle. Well, what's happening now that she's going every day, she's like, my face is clearing up, this is happening. What we don't realize is whatever doesn't get out of that colon actually recycles back into the bloodstream via the lymphatic system. So when we think of our lymphatic system and we cut ourselves and that first clear fluid that comes out, that's dealing with the lymphatic system and it doesn't have a pump. So that's where we bring in the skin brushing. I actually put a handout with my protocol. I have a skin brushing handout that I send to people. You want to those channels of elimination open.
I am so glad you mentioned that because I forget I do the skin brushing just as a habit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget the things that really help that some people aren't aware of. So thank you.
Correct. Yes. And you know, we have a saying with bulls, you know, and it's bowels, urine, lungs, liver, and skin. And that skin is our largest form of elimination, and it's what we refer to as our third kidney. So what's going to come out via the urine is also going to come out via the skin. So when we're skin brushing and we're helping that lymphatic system move, I use what's called the Chi machine, it's CHI, and it helps move that lymph within the body, and it move And it's just wonderful of how, I don't want to get graphic about bowels, but in herbal world, we talk bowels all the time at the dinner table, you just name it. And it's like, but to have that long, I call it snake looking bowel, and you think you just made one push, but God, you look in the toilet and it's like, oh my God, where did all of that come from? But people forget that it's part of the lymphatic system draining. So now it can actually drain and do its work, versus when we're not going, it's sitting there. It's making bacteria, which creates gas. It's making the bloating and and whenever we have a lot of bloating, that goes back to a lot of bacteria. That's these viruses that aren't moving out of via the bloodstream.
I know when I learned of that, and when I share it with my clients, people get kind of freaked out when you think about that. Like you said, pulling it back into the bloodstream. It's like, if that's the area that we absorb nutrients, we're also absorbing toxins if they're sitting there. We don't want it to sit there.
The small intestines absorbs the nutrients. The large intestine's job is to pull the fluids out of the colon to become dry. Because I've often heard that said that, this large intestines is going to pull our nutrients. No, that's our small intestine's job. Remember, we have some lymphatics points within the small intestines, and one of them is called the Peyer's patch. So we have the tonsils located in the back of the esophagus. Then we go into the small intestines and we have the Peyer's patch. Then the large intestine have their appendix and their tonsils. So that Peyer's patch is overdriving. Most people that don't have the tonsils to be the warning, or the appendix to be the warning that your lymphatic system is having an issue, is going to have histamine effects within that Peyer's patch. And most children born in the late 1980s, 90s, all don't have tonsils, because that was the days where you took them all out. And so then they're having gallbladder issues at a younger age. They're having these, and it's all part of that. God has a plan for our bodies. And it's like, we just think that, oh, well, if we remove this, it'll work better. No, it doesn't. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking that when you were saying it's like we were so perfectly created, and everything has its function and its place and works with something else. I mean, anything that we can hold on to and work and get healthier is far better than taking it out, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't realize that most of our ailments today go back to a lymphatic congestion problem, because even if we're dealing with a liver issue, it was a lymphatic congestion problem, because the liver has to filter what didn't get processed within the lymphatic system. So that lymphatic system is very, very important. And that's, one of the reasons I really love this, and the way it's designed is to help with that.
Thank you for joining me today. I so appreciate you. And I have lots more questions, so I'm sure we will do this again.
Awesome. I look forward to our next meeting. Bye now.
Bye-bye.